guys, welcome to Bastian time. So our first couple stories for this Nintendo News episode are about games that have appeared on the iOS sort of app system for the iPhone and so on, and they look very familiar. Both of them are designed by the exact same studio or whatever, and there's no nice way to say it. They're just blatant ripoffs of Super Mario 3D Land. They basically lifted direct graphics out of those games in some instances, or changed them slightly, or came up with new versions of those same graphics. This first one is called 3D Cartoon Land Safari. Obviously supposed to be Super Mario 3D Land, and it has very similar mechanics. The idea is to jump on the enemies, and there are multicolored blocks, and there are things that look almost exactly like Goombas, things that look almost exactly like Koopas. It's so super blatant. They're question mark blocks. It's just obvious. But in this video, as you can click on the link and view for yourself the full video, the guy explains that the controls are just awful. The damage box, which is what developers call that sort of area where your character, if it bumps into an enemy or if an enemy attacks you, it's just really off. Like, there were some instances where this person his character kept dying for no discernible reason, because obviously the damage boxes were really off. And it's one thing to blatantly copy an established franchise just for the sole purpose of making a quick buck, but to do so and fail so miserably at it is really unfortunate. And the next one is called Cloud Run Courage HD, and again, it's by the same developer. It uses all of those same sort of graphics, and it's just not very good. I mean, I understand the idea of, well, Nintendo was never going to release Mario games or Zelda games or any Nintendo core franchise games, not even Pokemon or anything, on iOS or Android. That's just not something they're ever going to do, because they feel like those franchises' homes are on Nintendo consoles, and why would they want to compete with themselves by letting you play it on some other console, even if that console is your phone? So knowing that that's never going to happen, of course some developers are going to want to try their hands at creating something similar in style to those games, to sort of give people what they want. I understand that completely, but if you're going to do something like that, you may as well try to be extraordinarily creative. First of all, your game better be impeccable in how it plays. It better be as good as those things that you're trying to emulate in the gameplay, and you might want to try to not make it so rip-offy. You might want to try to come up with a new graphic style or something, and that's not the case in either of these games. They both play terribly. The gameplay is just awful, and the graphic style is not trying anything new, but just trying to be as much like Mario as possible without getting sued, which I don't even think they succeeded in doing. I think that they did cross that line visually, and that they probably can get sued for how much they ripped off the exact enemies and so on. So yikes. So that's it for this episode. That was kind of almost like a Bastian rant. I guess doing these shorter 2-story or 3-story videos will allow me to rant a little bit. Let me know if you want me to, or if you want me to just stick to the facts and not rant. Let me know in the comments down below. See you guys in 2 days for the next Nintendo News episode. Bye. Well, Nintendo was never going to release Mario games or Zelda games or any Nintendo core franchise games, not even Pokemon or anything, on iOS or Android. That's just something. I just dropped that light thing. Oops.